Quarterfinal Thursday continues here at the Ingles Southern Conference Women's Basketball Championship. 2 games in the books so far. Now we get ready for the third of 4. The Chattanooga Mocs, a surprise in the SoCon this season, taking on the Furman Paladins in the 2 versus 7 seed game.
She's been able to balance that with some good scoring and getting more confident with each game.
And the answer by Waziruddin, 36%. Second team All-A Sun player a year ago at Stetson. Hacker feeding inside, driving to the bucket, unsuccessfully. Session out of bounds, it will go. Let's bring in the third member of our team, Aaron Summers. Aaron?
Thanks, Pete. Furman and Chattanooga are very familiar with each other here in Asheville. They've met 4 out of the last 5 times here, and the familiarity goes beyond that. Chattanooga head coach Sean Poppy was actually on Furman head coach Jackie Carson's staff at Furman, spent 3 seasons there with her, and she said that he is a great basketball mind. He's a great guy. They are very close. Their families enjoy each other. She thought it might be a little awkward at first to see him on the other side of the court, but she said now she just sees him as a competitor, and today, well, it's one of the only times she's not cheering for him, guys.
There's a big reason why she had to take on more of a scoring burden this season for the Paladins. We'll touch on that. Acker, the Cal Baptist transfer, on the wing. Session. Shot clock under 10. Feed to Petro. Nice runner.
I don't know how that ball got through there, but it did.
Olafsdottir, native of Iceland. Addie Porter, big impact in her sophomore year, drives inside, gets the bounce. She really got herself in better physical shape this year. It's paid off in so many ways.
You see the finish at the basket by Addie Grace Porter. Puts a little English on it off the glass, but she's not afraid to mix it up on the interior. She's going to use her quickness to get to the basket.
Van Rye, another nice finish down low. Couple of inside field goals for the leading scorer on this Furman team. She is 4. Early lead for the number 7 seed, the Furman Paladins. They're up by 6 on the 2nd seeded Mocs of Chattanooga. Welcome back into Asheville, North Carolina with Robin Muller, Pete Hannity. It's a very competitive Southern Conference this year on the women's side. Furman, disappointing season, and I know that we'll talk more about that later on. But if you're the underdog, you want to get off to a hot start. They're 60% from the field so far.
Yeah, they've been finding ways to involve everybody on the floor. Balanced scoring so far, and their defense has been very solid. One of the things that Furman excels at is rebounds, and they have limited Chattanooga to just one and done most of the time. And you can see that in Sean Poppy as well.
Freshman of the year with the ball, Raven Thompson. Strong move inside over her fellow freshman Ryan. Thompson. Handed inside by Session. Porter looking to split defenders, and she finds her teammate Cornelius. Send it over to Aaron for more on Jackie Carson.
In talking to Coach Carson yesterday, she put a big emphasis on defense, and she said that it's all about your mindset, that you just got to believe that you can guard. Whoever you are guarding cannot get into the paint. It's an absolute mindset, and you have to have confidence in your defense just as much as you do in your offense. And right now, they are just limiting Chattanooga to those 8 points in the paint. And they said that they need to make sure that they continue to contain the Chattanooga Mocs here in the 2nd quarter.
The kind of confidence that she has in herself, but that also that Jackie Carson has in her.
It had been a drought from outside for Waziruddin. She's now 2 of 5 on threes. 3-point game. Now defending the ball for this Chattanooga team. Van Rye inside. They're going to feed their post player as often as they can.
Well, they're isolating Grace Van Rye as well. The defense is spread out. You have a 4-out situation.
Furman holds a 3-point lead. You really can't tell the story about this season without acknowledging the fact that the woman you see there facing us, Tate Walters, suffered a season-ending knee injury just before her junior campaign was going to begin. Leading scorer, great player, great winner. Let's send it over to Aaron with more.
Point guard Tate Walters was an all-conference player. Last year, she averaged nearly 13 points a game. She led the league in assists. Head coach Jackie Carson said that she's just the engine that made this team go. She's the emotional leader, and it's definitely been tough for this team to bounce back, losing not only Walters, but also their freshman Nivea Henley to an ACL, both point guards. So it's been a difficult position for them to have to overcome, Pete.
Saw Murphy give it a try from the other corner moments ago. Crouch. Off the glass. Shot clock under 10. Chattanooga's adjusted defensively. The flow has gone away for Furman, but Jalen Acker says not so fast. Lobs for Van Rye. Over top of Cornelius. Can't get the roll. And our first half comes to an end. Furman Paladins trying to pull the upset. They're 8-2 this season when they lead at the half. Chattanooga Mocs, they have trailed at the half 11 times prior. They're 3-8 when they're on the downside of the scoreboard at halftime. Mocs won both games in the regular season. Jackie Carson trying to knock them off here in the tourney. She's with Aaron.
Coach, you talked about consistency with your team, but what have you liked about their execution on both ends so far?
I really like how we're playing defensively. I think that's we can have a little bit more patience, make some easy buckets. I think it's still the juices are kind of flowing from a tournament atmosphere, but I like how we're really capitalizing on the defensive end and getting good stops.
What do you need to do to settle in then offensively?
Just play 40 minutes. You know, we gave a good 20-minute effort. You know, that's a good team, and so we know they're going to have some scoring, you know, some runs, and so we got to contain their runs and do what we did just in the first half and just play for 40 minutes.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks.
Jackie Carson was a SoCon champion as a Furman player. She is trying to bring her alma mater back to the promised land. If they do it this year, they will do it as a Cinderella, the number 7 seed at the break. A 3-point lead on the number 2 seed, Chattanooga Mocs. Mocs, a turnaround season for them. They're down at the break, 27-24. Aaron just listened in on each huddle. Aaron?
Mocs head coach Sean Poppy definitely focusing on the fact that his team looks like a bunch of individuals. He said that the team needs to come together, and if they continue to play individually, then they're not going to get through this ball game. He asked each individual in the huddle if they can help him out, if you can come in together and play as a team. And then on the other side, Jackie Carson, she told her team they need to keep defending and coming down strong with those rebounds.
Abby Cornelius, they're going to try to find her as often as they can. And she finishes down low.
Welcome back here to Asheville. Furman holding a slight lead over Chattanooga, and one of their assistant coaches, Pierre Curtis, has recently been selected to participate in the Women's Basketball Coaches Association Next Generation Institute. It's made for coaches that are assistant coaches that have the desire to one day be a head coach. It's an education program, and Coach Carson nominated him for this. As you see Furman getting a layup right there, adding to their point total. Carson calls Pierre Curtis her little brother. She said that she met him at JMU, and then eventually he became her intern when he was a senior there. He cut a lot of film for her. She put him through the ringer, and he begged her for an opportunity on her coaching staff 2 times before she actually gave it to him. She called him up one day. He was working at Best Buy, and now he's been on her staff here with her, and she says there are big things ahead for him.
Big answer by Sigrun Olafsdottir. 1-point game.
Tried to trap her, and she was able to get it out.
2 on the shot clock. Sesson would have been a shot clock violation. Waziruddin. Huge 3 for the Chattanooga Mocs, top scorer. Looking low, Van Rye. There's the double team help. Session. Big jumper that time. Shot clock under 10. Thompson defended by Acker. Able to go around. Van Rye calling for it. Feeds out, and nice try there, but then the rejection. Abby Cornelius, team leader in blocks for Chattanooga. Quick pass ahead, Porter, Olafsdottir. 6-point advantage for the Mocs.
And that one just showed the fatigue of the Paladins. Watch for UTC to use a lot of clock.
Waziruddin, another 3.
Or not. When you have Waziruddin, she's going to shoot at will. She was quiet for the bulk of this game. Now she's finding her rhythm.
16 points, 5 of 8 beyond the arc. Yaz Waziruddin. The Stetson transfer might have just delivered the dagger. Still 2:13 to go.
Just steps away. It's that ball rotation around the horn. UTC has done that well throughout the day.
Opportunity to take more time off of that clock. Thompson crossing over on Session. Contact and one.
Really tough shot by Raven Thompson. She uses her body well. I think the biggest impact she had today was neutralizing Grace Van Rye, keeping her in check. She played behind her and allowed her teammates to come in and double down, but not allowing Van Rye to get some quick shots.
Paladins able to get one to roll down at the buzzer. Kate Johnson, but the Chattanooga Mocs, they were down by 10 in the third quarter. They turn that around and they move on to a third win on the season in as many meetings with the Furman Paladins. 63-52 our final score. A lot to like about this Chattanooga team. They set a tone defensively, holding another opponent on the season in the 50s, and they get just enough offense out of players like Wazaria Dean and Porter and Cornelius, among others, as well as their fine freshman Raven Thompson, who was able to post her third career double-double, finishing with a team-leading 17 points and 13 rebounds. So the bracket looks like this. Mocs moving on to semifinal Friday. They will await the winner of ETSU and Samford. Coming up soon, Wofford and UNCG will battle in our first game at 11 a.m. Eastern on Friday morning.
A lot of excitement by this Chattanooga team, having been bumped out early of the tournament last year. And again, reflecting the intensity and the energy of Sean Poppy, and I thought they played with that throughout the ball game. Even when they seemed to have been down offensively, their defense kept coming back, and it's that aggressive defense that turned the tide for Chattanooga.
Furman's season will end at 11-19. The Mocs move on at 18-12. In roughly half an hour, 6:40 tip-off for Samford and ETSU. We expect that to be a really, really good battle. A couple of teams that split games this season. The Mocs of Chattanooga. Maybe this is the year they add another Southern Conference Champions trophy to a very crowded trophy case. March Madness is upon us in lots of ways. For Robin Muller and Aaron Summers, Pete Hannity saying so long for now. This has been a presentation of ESPN.